The Retro Buzz starts right after this.
Hey guys, it's Friday, so it's time for the Retro Buzz. This is the final show of 2020. So we wanted to do a special Christmas holiday show for you guys today, and it just so happened we got some really cool stuff to talk about thanks to Doug, but we did implement some comments. So for all the platforms that you're on, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, we can now pull those comments, and I've been working hard all week on that. And this guy's a slave driver, so he's like, you better make it work for Friday.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. You're the host here. Get it working.
So
cool for Christmas.
We got it. We got it going on.
Actually, cold to you. He doesn't eat much.
So it's good to have you. It's good to have you here, Mr. Glen. You've been working, slaving away as well.
Oh man, it's between the day job and then the contest I'm involved with ATGames. Yeah, I've been very busy, but we also have some good things later on the show today from New Wave Toys. We have a giveaway. We have a signed Don Bluth Dragon's Lair to give away later on in the show. Awesome. It is the holidays. It's time for giving, right?
That's right. Speaking of giving, this guy got a really nice gift today.
I did.
Mr. Doug, what's going on?
My grandmother sent me a $5 bill in the mail and a sweet greeting card and everything. Said told me not to spend it all in one place. So thank you, Grandma Smith. I greatly appreciate that. It'll go to good use. I promise I won't spend it on scratcher tickets. Can't guarantee I won't spend it on a Powerball ticket, but I won't, as Scout's honor, won't spend it on scratcher tickets.
Well,
I was going to say an AC hooker because I think they're $5 down there, or a pack of cigarettes, one of the two.
Oh, $5 hookers! My God, that's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't that? I mean, that's going to give you gifts for years to come, for sure.
Well, it's great to have you guys here. I think we're going to have some fun. We just kind of wanted to do a nice round table today to just kind of discuss, like, you know, I said to the guys, I said, you know, what was the biggest announcement in 2020? Like, if you had to look back, and we want to hear your comments too, guys in the chat room. What do you think the biggest announcement, whether it's you know, from one company or the other, what do you think the biggest announcement was? And I'm going to kind of put him on the spot here, but Mr. Glen, what in 2020 was your biggest or you thought was the biggest announcement?
That Kathleen Kennedy would have no involvement in the Mandalorian.
Did they ever actually announce that though? I think that just kind of like happened. I think we just got lucky there.
I think you're right. The biggest announcement, you know what? I don't think it was one specific one. As far as this one goes, it's the virtual pinball, because again, I still didn't think it was possible to come out with a machine at a decent price point. You know, and I guess technically now they're starting to get out to certain people. But I think that's, for me, that's the biggest one, because I've never actually owned, you know, a pinball other than a little Tommy or Tomy, whatever they call them, little pinball machines. And I do like pinball, so I'm excited for that new type of technology to finally get down to where it's affordable to our schleps.
Okay. It seems like the consensus in the chat room, they're agreeing with you. Mr. Doug, what do you think the biggest announcement of 2020 was?
I think pinball for sure from all companies. Just the fact that virtual pinball, you know, we found out when Toy Shock came out of the gates first or whatever with their $3.99 price. I mean, we were speculating earlier on in the year that, you know, sub $1,000, like how does anyone do that? And, you know, Toy Shock does it. And then Arcade1up comes out and says, you know, hold my beer, we'll do it as well in ATGames. And everybody just comes out of the woodwork with pinball. But I want to kind of give a little like honorable mention to NBA Jam, just because that was one thing for ever that people have been asking for that always said it'll never happen for, you know, licensing issues. There's no way anybody could ever get all those old NBA players signed off and everything. And the fact that they got like 95% of everybody from the original games back on board to be in those Arcade1up NBA Jam releases, I thought that was still to this day mighty impressive. Because again, everybody for a solid year and a half in the message boards and the fan pages and everything just said it'll never happen for licensing reasons. And lo and behold, it did.
You know,
True.
I'm gonna say something different other than pinball, because I mean it's obvious, right? But I think the biggest thing that I think we saw is the fact that not only you got pinball, I mean that's obvious, right? But you're able to get 1080p 60 frames pinball at that scale, or even 720p 60 frames at that scale. And you got to give it to Arcade1up
without a computer.
Without a computer. And you also got to give it to Arcade1up as well with the sit-down cabinets, whether you like them or dislike them. Okay, so let's just state
for the
that.
price point, it's, you know, it's ingenuity, it's innovation, you know, it's you know, it's establishing something that it can be done at a price point, because prior to that, no one else can really do that. I mean, sure, you could buy a $200 racing pedal set for a console, but that doesn't include the price of the console. So, you know, it goes back to that, like that ability to offer something at a reasonable retail price for the average consumer.
I think that.
Well, I think it's even bigger that they're just offering different than their stock single cabinet. You know, they're starting to branch out a little bit, and I'm happy for them for doing that. And I hope they continue along that path. I would love to see, you know, like a sit down Missile Command or Star Wars cabinet coming down the pipe, or the driving cabinets too. And you know, it's very easy to put little bed lifts to lift it up a little bit if you need some height. You know,
well, and
race car bed.
Meatball Saucy says here, he says, you know, he felt the biggest reveal was the expanded family of the Legends products. How exciting was it when the website updated with all that stuff? Yeah, I kind of, yeah, I mean, you now have there's a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of big announcements, I would think, this year. I mean, Glen brought out a flight yoke. That was a huge announcement.
Yeah,
how can I
kill me for it? Why can't I get my hands on it? Why can't I get my hands on it? Since you brought it up, and since it is the holiday season, you know, it's be nice.
He's doing a giveaway, folks. He's gonna give you one. Oh, sorry.
You get a yoke, and you get a yoke.
Everybody gets a yoke.
I'm not Oprah. I'm not Oprah. But I will say that, you know, the stuff has arrived at Amazon. But what time of year is it right now? It is the holiday season, so I'm not sure when it'll actually will be posted, but the yokes are there. People still asking for the Tron stick, and the Tron stick is going to be a little bit while longer. We're trying to make it a single kit. So no matter what you have, whether it's a Legends or an Arcade1up or something else, you don't have to buy two separate kits. It can be one kit. And we're doing testing on the wiring harness, and there's been some issues with that. So that'll probably be early January. And I know people are asking about the trackball, the version 3 trackball. I'm expecting my first production sample in a week or so. And once I get it and I approve that, of course, I'll do a video on it. We should get that up as well. But we do have a lot of things planned for 21 for new products. I know people are really wanting to know for the Partycades. I'm going to do a post. I want to get some feedback from people on the Partycades with the spinner and the trackball for them. And of course, we still have other things like the 12 rotation joystick. So it's a lot of things coming down the pike. Just give us a little time. We're only a couple of people who really are arcade enthusiasts. You know, I'm not the huge mega corporation like Arcade1up or ATGames. You know, we're not huge. There's a couple of small guys trying to do something decent out there. And I haven't been able to respond to everyone as of late because I've been really working hard on this Legends Connect project, which I hope you guys will be stoked about when I show it. But expect Amazon any day. As soon as they're able to post product, we have Star Wars jokes there. Just waiting for them to post them to be released.
Do you want to answer this question right away here? It's Glenn, will the
Tron... I can read that? I'm as old as this
listen,
hat.
I'll read it to you. It's all right. Or Doug,
Will the
Tron joystick work with the Gamer Pro?
Yeah, again, that's the wiring. That's the whole thing. With the wiring harness is the issue. So we have to make sure that harness is going to work with everything. We don't want to sell separate kits anymore. It's not beneficial to anyone to have extra parts. We want to streamline the process. Yeah. So once we are certain that the wiring harness is working as it should, it'll be released, and then yeah, pretty much it'll work on anything you want.
There's one other question here, and then I want to get to your guys' biggest disappointments of 2020 in the field. So we'll get to that. I saw a couple comments on that, but can we get the Tron stick for discs of Tron?
I assume
There's
are you
more than
talking
that.
about
You
the
need to-
spinner? Yeah.
Well, there's two things. The actual discs of Tron joystick was the Tron joystick, but in addition to your trigger, there was a button on the top as well for your shield, right? And then you had your spinner, and then the spinner was a pull and push. So all I can say is 21, baby. Keep your eyes out for just something along those lines.
Okay, one other one here. It says, when are you making a 360 steering wheel?
We're already working on it. It's in beta.
Okay.
So we are.
Very nice. Vroom vroom.
Yeah. So again, guys, yeah, keep the comments coming. Angel, our buddy, is here. Guys,
Hey, appreciate that, Angel.
Doug, I want to start with you on this one. What
Mhm.
and let's just be brutally honest. I mean, I think we should put it out there if there's something that sticks out, you know, within reason. What is the biggest disappointment for you of 2020 in the arcade and gaming space?
So this is technically not really a personal disappointment, but this is like the low-hanging fruit. The biggest disappointment of 2020 is Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes,
I mean,
I 100%
That
agree.
game, yeah, I was about to say, like, I finished it, I beat it, I played it on my Xbox, you know, Series X, and it performed pretty well. There were still graphical issues or whatever, but it was a better experience than what people are having on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. PlayStation removed it from the freaking game store today.
What does that tell you?
Exactly, that's unheard of. A brand new massive release to get voluntarily pulled from the game store and refunds being offered. I'm like, oh my God, you want to talk about a PR nightmare? Just a cluster cuss of just so many poor decisions, and obvious that somebody just said, hey, rush it to market because we need Q4, you know, revenue. I mean, Cyberpunk 2077, like I said, I enjoyed the game. It plays great if you play it on a PC or maybe on, you know, one of the newer consoles. But as designed, it was also supposed to play on the older generation consoles, and it does absolutely hideous performance. And the fact that that got out to market the way it is just abysmally disappointing for everybody.
No, I'll agree with that. But go ahead, Glenn. What was your big disappointment of 2020?
It's
in
hard
space?
to top that one because he's so right about that one. But at least, you know, the old consoles, like my old Atari, probably would have done that 4 frames a second. That's why they were doing it. And speaking of that, that's my biggest disappointment is, you know, me being one of the older gamers, you know, obviously, the Atari Corporation or the current Atari Corporation to me is a huge disappointment with their Atari VCS. And I know they say they're starting to ship them now, but it's such a abysmal disappointment to me to see a company's name like that. Basically, it's a disappointment to me, that whole console. From the Indiegogo campaign all the way up to if it actually comes out. Mine is just an icon of mine, like Nintendo was for so many people, or the PlayStation is for so many here. Atari was my generation. To see the company basically be the king of the hill that really started the industry. It really did. Nolan Bushnell, and that started the industry to be what it is today. It hurts. So for me, that's my biggest disappointment of 2020.
Okay.
How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I have to agree with this comment in the chat room besides the Cyberpunk. The biggest disappointment of 2020 is that I did not still receive my P-Dub sticker. And P-Dubs, you have exactly 12 days to get it to us and the rest of the community, or you're going to be excommunicated.
I love it.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there, so I do have to agree with Adam on this one.
I mean, there's only so many shipping days before Christmas.
Just saying.
Let's get those stickers in the mail there, P-Dubs.
Let's get it going. But no, I would agree with the
That's
Cyberpunk.
a PR nightmare. That's a PR nightmare.
that is a PR nightmare.
P-Dubs Arcade Loft, man. Come on, get the product out.
I do have to agree, though, with the Cyberpunk, you know, because obviously you can't call out, like, pinball not being shipped before Christmas. I mean, that's out of the company's hands. I know that's disappointing, but it's not intentional. I think Meatball Saucy said in his opinion here, and I'll throw this comment up, his biggest disappointment was the Gamer Mini. He thought that the Gamer Mini was a big disappointment. It finally turned to excitement on the 23rd, and I hope he elaborates because I'd like to know why he thought it was a big disappointment and then why
I think
it was good.
I mean, it sounds like he's just waiting on his delivery. That's how I'm
Okay.
interpreting that. If he's turning to excitement on the 23rd, so it sounds like he's maybe got a delivery on the horizon. He's
okay.
just been disappointing waiting.
So I think that I think that'll be. Oh wait, here I got to put this up. It's P-Dubs.
Yeah, I see it.
You see it? You see it? We got to put it up there. Sticker delay is like ATGames Pinball machine conspiracy theories. Only YouTubers are receiving P-Dub stickers. Sorry all. #Stickergate. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Well, you guys will have
You know
to
what
take
they
us.
say?
I'm going to put it out there right now. Still haven't
Views,
got my
so,
P-Dub sticker. Still waiting.
That's pretty
I
good.
have a YouTube channel. Still haven't got my sticker.
Yep. And Meatball Saucy said you are correct. That is
Gotcha.
That is what that is. They got the mini firmware issue. Okay, so let's talk about that real quick before we move on any further. So I have the mini as well, and the firmware for that is a beta firmware. It's shipping with the beta firmware. You guys probably remember, Doug, when you got your Gamer Pro, it had the beta firmware. I've had it probably for a month and a half, and it still has the same firmware on. You just got to be patient because ATGames is working that into the mix.
I'm killing them.
Yeah.
They're working a lot of things for me personally. Therefore, I've had their engineers. So you have to blame me because I've literally had their engineers doing a ton of stuff for me. So I apologize to everyone out there, but we're done. So they'll get back on your firmware.
So
Glenn's out there with the hold up.
there it is.
Totally
And you know what?
Totally me.
This is a good disappointment from the chat room. Clax29, he says, I'd also like to say the Game Gear Micro was a disappointment, but that was kind of obvious from the start. You know, that was.
Yeah.
I would agree.
We
with
can
that.
talk about it because everyone knows that.
Yeah, but I didn't think about that.
Man, that was like, well, it's funny because that whole like week going into that announcement, everybody was, Dreamcast 2, which comes up every year, it seems like. But, they're like, oh my God, Sega's going to do something big. Game Gear Micro with 4 games. It's $50 and it's the size of a postage stamp. Granted, I bought one because I'm a Sega fanboy, but still.
Will you buy anything Sega?
It's true.
Garage.
I got my Astro City in the mail.
The Garage Gamer wants to know. He's like, why would you need the Gamer Pro or the Gamer Mini? And so I want to answer that. Like, you don't really need it, but if you did want to use it for 4 players on a arcade system, you could. Now, I understand that's not ideal for everyone, but in my studio, I have the ability to mirror what's on my Legends Ultimate to the TV behind me. So I could have 2 guys standing here in front of me. I have I know you guys can't see it, but if I switch to this camera and we get rid of this, you can kind of see I have the Gamer Pro sitting there. So they actually can play games or whatever on here, but I can mirror the display. So you have 2 guys here and 2 guys over at the Legends Ultimate to play it. But is it needed? No, the answer is definitely no. It's not something you need. You could do what Doug did and give it to a friend and play with him online. I mean, that's an option, but it's definitely not something you need. So,
well, none of the stuff that we talk about for the most part is a need. It's all
well, there you go.
I mean, everything in my room is a want, not a need. I don't need this stuff. Well, some of these I do.
I don't know. Sometimes I think you do.
Figures are freaking sweet. Yeah.
Whoops. There we go. So Adam says, and it's more importantly, it's portable. It is portable. I have mine upstairs in the living room when I play by myself on the TV. But it's not really necessary. It's not. Right. I mean, let's just be fair. Right. Yeah, everything is a want. Garage Gamer says everything's a want.
Necessary. Trust me. I hear it from my son. My flesh and blood. You don't need something like that. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. What?
Oh, Cole, the voice of reason. How dare he? Are you sure he's your kid?
I'm not so sure.
Starting to raise some.
Doug, we
eyebrows
better
now,
get
aren't
on
you?
that will. He better put
Yeah,
us on that
exactly.
will because it's gone.
Gonna get nudged out.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, 20.
It will be. I'm telling you, it'll be in the trash.
No.
Guaranteed.
It'll be Glenn. 50 cents for the TurboGrafx complete in box. Okay.
I'll be
Cole
dead.
Be,
Won't matter to me.
Cole be
We'll
like,
take a quarter.
I'll take a quarter, $1.
Yeah. Or it'll just
Like,
be curbside. Come pick up. Yeah.
Take it off my hands.
All right. So Leah Moore in the chat room. What does she say here? She says, owning a Pro has truly changed our opinion. We never thought we would want one, but we love it. And I want a Mini now too. So there's that. So, I mean, it's for there's something for everybody. And I actually have one of those stands coming. It'll be here Monday that you can set it on, that you've probably seen floating around. So that'll be cool to try it with that. I have mine a little high right now, but it'll be neat to kind of move it out of the way and give that a go. Let's get into a little bit, before we get to take a break here, let's get into a little bit of this. 2021's right around the corner. I know we're sick of 2020 with everything that's happening in the world. We're sick of just in general. What would you guys like to see these companies bring to light? Any of the company. It could be Toy Shock. It could be, ATGames, Arcade1up. What would you guys, Glenn, we'll start with you, like to see in 2021? In chat room, please put your thoughts in there too.
Man, wish I thought about this one. What would I want in 2021? Well, for me, anything with Kathleen Kennedy not involved is a win. I would like to see. Again, I'm an older gamer, so shoot me for it. A lot of the old cabinets, with the way that they did their visuals, like the Asteroids Deluxe had a mirror effect, or the Space Invaders. I know like Numbskull is kind of doing that with their Space Invaders coming out, and My Arcade kind of did it as well. But I want to see more of that. Really take some of the effect and the controls more to heart when they build these things. I wish I thought about it some more, but that's what I'm saying right now. It's just like the older. I do want to see more of the older games still come back. I know everyone wants the Street Fighters and racing games coming out, but there's still so many older classic games that need some love to come back. I mean, look at Dragon's Lair. That was from '82. That's been going bonkers right now for like new wave toys. So I do want to see like Berserk, those old type of games. Battlezone. I'd love to see Battlezone come back out again. Just stuff like that, I guess.
Doug, what about you? I mean, there's a lot of comments flowing here. I'm trying to keep them up on the screen as much as possible.
I was reading some of them. One of them that I really liked that I never even thought of that just popped up from Mr. Chip. It says retro achievements on ATGames ecosystem. So like trophies and, I thought that was a super neat idea that I'd literally never thought of until I just read that. So that sounds cool. As far as like tangible things, I have like my personal one, and then there's like what I would also want to see these companies do for others. Me personally, for selfish reasons, I would love to see a 6-player X-Men beat 'em up cabinet. It's egregious in all terms of the word, just to think of, hey, Arcade1up or whoever does it, probably Arcade1up likely, a company that's kind of niched themselves into making these smaller, easy to manage, lightweight, cheap home arcade cabinets that would kind of go in the opposite direction and make some super fat boy high-end 6-player X-Men beat 'em up cabinet. I mean, that would just be a 13-year-old cool toys dream come true. And then there's other beat 'em ups like Simpsons and Sunset Riders and Cowboys of Moo Mesa and things like that. Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, of course, has always been a personal favorite of mine. I know that takes some hefty computing power, so I think we're probably a ways away from that. New Wave Toys, I want to see them continue on this Dragon's Lair kick. I want to see Space Ace come out in a cabinet. Numbskull, I can't wait to see their track and field, so I'm anxious to see that. I hope they continue to release these amazing quality releases. I want to see something from the 90s from them, so just more of the same, really. Maybe a Daytona cabinet.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that want to see that too. What do you guys think about Donkey Kong? Now, I saw somebody posted that in here, Deputy Van Halen. I'll pull that up here. I I would love to see that. I would love to. I don't care who does it, and we all know that Nintendo's probably not going to let that IP go, and I get it. But I think whoever could get that as a dedicated, even Arcade1up, that game will sell better than the 50 million Pac-Mans that they have going on right now.
Yeah,
hands down.
I agree.
I think that's.
But it's like the four-leaf clover, man. It's like it's just never going to happen. Yeah, and it's not necessarily fully Nintendo's fault. My understanding is it's still a licensing issue with who actually owns some of the code. So even if Nintendo wanted to do it on their own, I'm not sure if they even could do that.
Well,
not the original game.
They're Nintendo. They control the weather. They can do what they want.
Yeah, and Soul Man is saying it here. He's like, Donkey Kong will never happen. Like I said it, or yes, I said it. Yeah, we know that. This is something we'd like to see.
This pie in the sky talk.
Yeah, I mean, there has been rumors that there'll be a Killer Instinct cabinet from Arcade1up, and I've heard them from reliable sources. So if that happens, that's my holy grail. Not so much Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry if Zohar's watching. I would rather have the Killer Instinct cabinet. So out of all the cabinets that have been kind of popping up, if they do bring that to light, if it is not just a unicorn, I'm probably going to buy it, and I'm going to have to find a place to put it. But
I'm just moving away from him because, you know, he's not Mortal Kombat. I don't want to be near him. He's probably got a hit on him now from, you know, I'm not going to mention names. I'm just not going to sit.
Well, I mean, it's true, right?
Oh,
I mean, wouldn't it, like, okay, Deputy Van Halen, he's saying Terminator 2. That would be a really good gun game if they brought that out.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Combo it with Revolution X. I mean, that's an easy win right there.
Michael B., I'm trying to go back to his comment. He made a good comment about, I don't know if you saw it. I might not be able to pull it up. The chat's been going pretty quick between having all three chats all on the screen. But he made a comment about fitting 6 full-size humans under the 6-player cabinet that you would like to see, Doug. And I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
It can be done, but I mean, the way to do it and do it correctly is, you know, not in the normal scale of operations of how Arcade1up does it. Like I said, it's a personal want wish, and I know realistically I would probably be better served to make it myself. But for everybody out there that didn't get to experience or even see that behemoth back in the day, because it was rare to see the actual 6-player one. The 4-player one was pretty common, but the 6-player one, which is such an egregious, stupid thing to see in an arcade setting. I mean, it took up so much room. It was just obnoxious, and I loved it. Loved everything about it.
Let me ask you guys something. Since Jong started this whole experience movement, right, in the arcades, and basically being the first company to put a true high-end sound system in his arcades, what do you think about, I mean, we've been talking about IPs, we've been talking about what we'd like to see as far as games in a cabinet. Do you think there's a need or a motion to update the sound systems? Like, I know there was talk when we had John D on the one time, I was telling him I'd like to put a subwoofer in the base of the Star Wars cabinet to kind of rumble under your seat. Do you think that maybe companies, it might cost a little bit more, should think about maybe including subwoofers now in some of their products? I know ATGames is doing it in their pinball. I don't know how that's going to work, but it's an option, right? So what about some of these cabinets that are shoot-'em-up games? Shoot-'em-ups especially. You're shooting, I'd like to feel that recoil maybe on the gun and maybe get some of that bass thumping as you're you know, in Terminator especially. Doug, do you think, is that something that you'd want to see?
I mean, improved sound system across the board would be great. Ideally, if we're going down like scaled improvements, I want to see bigger screens more than anything.
Okay.
I'd put bigger screens at the top of my totem pole, and then, you know, some improved sound system and peripherals, things like that. But bigger screens, especially when we're going into the world of light gun games. I'm 36. I've got 20/20 vision. Luckily, I don't have to wear glasses, contacts, everything.
Sure, rub
I
it
know
in.
not everybody in the retro environment has perfect vision still.
Rub it in.
So to think of people like, I don't know, old Saint Nick over there in the middle of the screen, not being able to see these bucks as they dance across the screen because maybe he's too far away from it. So maybe some bigger screens. You know, I know it's a cost measure. Obviously, you know, you go with 17 because you can buy 20,000 of them on scale for a different thing. But maybe you use that leveraging buying power that you got because you're, you know, a big company now, and say, hey, let's go to 19, let's go to 21, or you know, whatever you got to do to make it a little bit bigger. Because it's America, everybody loves big.
What about you, Glenn? I mean, is that something you'd like to see, bigger screens? Because, you know, see, or what?
Personally, if you guys know me long enough, and everyone knows me long enough, my big thing is I just want to see the quality there. Whatever they have, just to be a quality experience. Got to use the word experience.
Yeah.
Whether it be the controls. For me, I really didn't have. I know a lot of people have a problem with the 17-inch displays. I don't. Mostly because the screen's like is pretty much in front of your face. So 19, okay, it's a little bit bigger, but to me, I'd rather have the controls, everything else to be better, or give them the option when you buy them. Maybe you could buy with a Space Invaders from Arcade1up with a 17-inch or 19-inch. You know, I know that from a warehouse perspective, it's more of an issue, but they started doing like Kickstarters and starting to do direct purchases from their warehouse. So if you're doing pre-orders like that, you can gauge what you need and sell them that way. So, I mean, they've been doing pretty well with it too. I mean, they've been selling out like the Outrun cabinet. They sold out like almost instantly. So they can say, listen, we have some Outruns with 19-inch monitors. We have some with 17-inch monitors. See what sells. See what sells better. You know, one's going to be more money. But they're doing it now. Look at the Kickstarter they did with the table. I personally never would have thought they would have sold that many and made that kind of money. But they did. So they have a way to gauge this. I just want to see, as they go forward to the years, better electronics, better pizza, Papa John's. That's what I want to see.
Well, do you guys want to tackle this? This is a good question that somebody posted in here. Mark,
pay over $500 for those games, or make it where you can add what you want or pay. So I know 100% people would absolutely pay the extras and do the a la carte thing. The problem is the logistics of operating that way. It's like, you know, having multiple SKUs, and, you know, Arcade1up, they make arcade cabinets. They're not so much distribution, you know, experts or warehouse experts. They're not having people running around a warehouse picking orders and saying, okay, we got to quasi-assemble this one, or let's throw a light up marquee in this box or whatever. You know, everything comes pre-assembled, flat packed, ready to go from the container from China. Gets, you know, shipped around to the retailer. It's ready to go. If you start introducing that a la carte add-on type of thing, then you have to have some sort of handoff, some sort of transition of, hey, we open it up, we put this in there. That adds expenses, that adds overhead, that adds cost to the end unit. Like, we would all love to rationally just say, oh, okay, you know, just add on $20 for improved joysticks, or add on this. Like, that's how much retail it might cost for that component or whatever, but that's not going to include all the increased overhead that they would have to incur to, you know, pull that off. So would I love to see it? Yes. Do I think it's logistic right now? Probably not.
Glenn, what do you think about Michael B's comment here, where he says about they talked about a bigger screen for the 12-in-1 that's on the way to help with the included vertical and square games on the same cabinet, and that's right up your alley with the Centipede and Asteroids and all that.
No, I mean, that's great if they could do that. And to be honest, I actually think it's going to be harder to get smaller screens like 17 inches. Manufacturers aren't making them anymore. They're making like 22s and 32-inch screens. So it's actually going to start costing Arcade1up or anyone more money to get these smaller screens in large quantities. But again, to me, it's not a big deal. So it's what the fans want. Whatever you guys want, I'll follow the herd. I'm fine with small things. Just saying.
I'm not even going to touch that. Let's just move on from that. With that being said, let's you guys take a screenshot, put your best meme to it. All the small things, he's okay with it. We'll leave that for you guys, for the imagination. Listen, we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to come back and talk some more about this. Doug's got the new Arcade1up Pinball. We want to get into some of that for you guys. Great chance for you guys to ask him some real-time questions. He spent a whole 20 minutes with it right before the show. So, no, I'm being funny, of course. But you can ask him ask questions about it when we come back. But listen, you're looking for marquees? Talk to our boy Angel.
fucking years since I've
All
seen
right,
it.
and we are back, and we are diving in there. We were actually just talking about the pinball, and we got some. Well, Doug provided some. Let's go to those pictures right quick. I was gonna say you provided pictures, but let's head over. Why don't you talk a little bit about what we're seeing here, Doug, and I'll just kind of peruse.
So this is just some glamour shots. Like I said, I literally was able to put it together after work real quick, which is like at 3:30 for me. So not too soon or too shortly before I had to jump on here. Got to play it for about 20 minutes. Overall, very impressed with it as far as my initial thoughts. The thing is built very sturdy and like a tank. That was my initial impressions. Taking it out of the box and everything, it's going to weigh quite a bit. The box was pretty big. It's bigger than any arcade box as far as depth and width and things like that. So awkwardly trying to carry it up my stairs and then turn into a doorway was interesting and amusing. And I probably should have had the camera rolling just to see that kind of comical thing. But it is completely manageable. Just being able to put it together with a screwdriver and an Allen wrench, of which it comes with the little Allen key wrench. So nothing too crazy as far as assembly. Roughly about the same time to put together an Arcade1up cabinet, same time here. Obviously, it took me a little while longer than probably the average person just because I'm literally filming it and moving a camera every 5 minutes and filming it and filming it and filming it. But overall, it didn't take me long at all. Like I said, on par with an Arcade1up cabinet. And overall, I'm impressed with the quality, and I'm happy that I've got a Star Wars, pinball machine on pre-order now. It makes me feel so much better about it because I haven't got to see this Marvel one. I got to see the Star Wars prototype at CES, but this is the first time I've actually got to see the Marvel one in person. We've seen pictures and we've seen, some sizzle reel from Arcade1up, but this is, seeing the first product up close it's very, very reassuring and very good.
Okay, we have a really, really high-end, important question that's being asked right now by Jeff Rainwater.
It's true. Yeah.
Where's Doug's Santa hat?
Santa hat. So I opted not for the Santa hat just because, last time I didn't even wear a hat and people freaked out, so I didn't want to break the internet again. So my festivities.
Wait a second, stop. You already broke the internet because you showed the dang pinball.
Yeah, did I?
Yes, yes, you did.
I think the Mandalorian finale broke the internet today. I think I'm low on the totem pole. But no, my Christmas is this Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
There you go.
Little ugly sweater thing.
There is a question there for you, though.
The real answer is that Steve and I don't ever tell Doug what we're going to do. We make him.
This is true.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yep. So does the Marvel have good sound? It has very loud sound, very good sound. Obviously, good is going to be a partial thing. I think it sounds great personally. It's very loud. The one thing I've noticed, and this could 100% be chalked up to the fact that this is a prototype unit. This is not a full-fledged retail. At least that's how it was explained to me. So there may be some differences between what I have and what shows up on the end of the retail spectrum. But the only thing I've noticed thus far is in regards to the sound is the volume button. Once you toggle it, you don't get that ... volume increment that we kind of see on these new Arcade1up cabs where it goes like volume 1 to 15 or whatever. It just gets louder gradually. It doesn't tell you visually anywhere that the volume is going up. So that was one thing that was kind of surprising because when I first plugged it in, turned it on, I got no volume and no sound. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? And then I just hit the volume button and then it got loud. And I was like, well, how loud did I turn it up? So maybe that's something that changes. Maybe that's something that's, in the books and the cooks for a firmware update. Who knows? But that's one mild observation I noticed in the short time I've spent with it.
And you're going to, just so people know, because Lewis put this in here about, he suggested to you to shoot it with a good camera because of what we talked about the last couple of weeks about not accurate filming because people are like, oh, there's lag. Oh, no, there's not lag. Oh, there is. Yours is capable of doing what? 240 frames per second on your camera, so there should not be a problem.
Correct. Yeah, I can do 240 frames per second, which would be stupid slow motion. So you guys are literally, if I do that, people are going to see me pushing the flipper like this, and then you're going to see the flipper flip because that's 200. I mean, that's
Yeah,
like 10
yeah.
times slow motion.
Right.
Or whatever. I can do it, but my initial impression, haven't noticed any input delay, lag whatsoever. It's very responsive. Like I said, that was the very first thing. Powered it on, went to a game, and just like stared and just tapped at it and tapped at it and tapped at it and stared at my finger and stared at my finger, stared at the ball, the flipper, and everything. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not noticing anything to the naked eye. I'm not picking up anything. I've played, other products that did have some input delay, so I knew immediately what to look for, and I'm just not out of the gate experiencing anything like that.
How's the haptic
Which is good.
feedback? That's
Haptic feedback is very good. Very one thing I thought was let's see, cute. Let's just call it cute. And I don't mean that derogatory, but like right flipper, left flipper. The solenoids give you different sounds, which sounds like such a trivial thing, but in your head, it's so nice. This unconscious thing to understand left, right, left, right, left, right, different sounds instead of having the same solenoid thud. There's a slight different audible tone to the left and the right solenoids, which is nice. It's very responsive. It's on par. There's no delay in that. I don't feel like it's breaking the machine. I feel it's, tweaked well enough, and you can adjust the sensitivity. I do believe, I think I saw that in the menu somewhere that there was a solenoid adjustment. So that's a nice feature. I'll have to play with that a little more, but right out of the box, my initial impressions, everything so far is good.
So when can they expect a full review from Glen? He wants to know. Not this Glen, the other Glen.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, dang, Glenn, get off my case. So I'll play with it for a couple days and try to, go through all the tables, play them for a while, try to figure out if there's anything wrong, right, or indifferent about it. Find any quirks that I can. And
well, wait. This is a retail version, right? Because some people are asking in there, he can't give a review on a prototype unit. But this is not prototype, right? This is the actual retail.
Yes and no. So the way I was explained to it is that this is a early sample prototype that is, quote unquote, pretty damn close to the retail. There may be some changes, there may be not. So since retail is still away, I mean, what I have right now could be 100% what shows up to retail.
Okay.
I can't get in the DeLorean right now and tell you that 100%. Sure. So I just have to put that out there.
No, clarify that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm understanding that this is a retail unit, but potentially it could change. So I just have to disclose that.
And Michael B wants to know, does it feel like pinball? Like, you know what I mean? He says, how does it emulate the actual experience?
It does a very good job of emulating the actual experience. Obviously, there's going to be people out there that are not impressed that say, I could build this better myself, and they probably could. But that's not the casual consumer, and that's who these are garnered to. Obviously, somebody that spends $1,000 and builds it themselves, they're going to get more bells and whistles and probably bang for the buck than spending $550 off a shelf. But again, that's not an apples to apples comparison, so I don't even really want to kind of ascertain that train of thought. Yes, it feels like pinball. I think it's a good virtual pinball machine. Like I said, I could gussy it up more, but like I said, I've only really spent 20-30 minutes with it. To this day right now, as far as what's out in the market, there's Toy Shock and technically this, but it's not really out on the market, so it's hard to judge it. But right now, only having anything to compare it to, the Toy Shock, yes, this is far superior than the Toy Shock for having the extra bells and whistles like the DMD, the haptic feedback, the solenoids, the plunger, all that kind of stuff. It feels pretty good for what it is.
And do you have to hunch over? Because we know Glenn wouldn't have to hunch over. But do you have to hunch?
No. And that's I don't know if you pulled a picture. So
I can pull it up.
Posted a picture of me standing next to it. I'm 6'2", and I also posted a picture of what it looks like next to the NBA Jam cabinet on a riser, just to try to give people a scale. I'm 6'2". The playfield is high enough for me. I'm not hunched over, and I don't feel like I've got like a careened neck, because like when you're right up on it, that 24-inch screen I thought was going to be super small and problematic for me, just because maybe it was, but it had been a year since I tested it at CES, so I was trying to remember how I felt about it. As soon as I walked up to it, like the 24-inch playfield doesn't seem as small once you're on top of it and really looking down on it. If you're 6'7", this would probably maybe be an issue for you. Like you probably will be taco necking down, and you would probably need it on some sort of base or stand or something like that. But I think probably
adjustable, right?
Yeah, it's got little feet. I think they go up another 2 inches, so that'll help. But obviously, there's people out there that are just going to be taller. Everyone's shaped differently, but for the average size adult, I think you're going to be happy with the size of it. Like I said, playfield, where it's positioned, the flippers and everything, it's very on par with where the control decks are for the Arcade1ups on a stand. So if you're a tall person and you think an Arcade1up on a riser is still way too short for you, then maybe you'll have to figure out something for the Arcade1up, because it's a 3/4 scale pinball machine. It's supposed to be in line with their arcade cabinet. So, I mean, people really shouldn't be shocked that it's of the same height and stature. But
So in other words, Glenn, you're going to need some kind of stool for it to reach it. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. You know, when you get old, you get that bone density loss, you start shrinking. Actually, true story. Was it yesterday's Friday, right? So yesterday, my son Cole stands next to me, and for the first time in 15 years, God, 15 years, I am now going like this. He is officially taller than me.
Wow.
So, go to your room. I don't think so, Dad. Oh, hey. Gotcha. Whatever.
You don't tell me what to do. The future's now, old man.
That's it. So, but yeah, I mean, standing with Doug, standing next to it, it didn't look like a bad size at all. And like I said, it still has some height adjustment. But the key thing for me is when he said one thing was that it felt very solid. And that's for a pinball, you know, it can be knocking around a little bit. Did you try tilting it? Did you have any experience with knocking around?
I played with that a little bit, and I'm trying to visually think of how to like record that experience too, because it is responsive. It's not stupid sensitive to where like you just barely like push it and the ball starts wiggling around. So it's got a nice, I don't know how they programmed it or whatever. It's got a nice sensitivity to it to where you gotta wiggle it enough. So like a kid just leaning up on it and just barely sitting, like that's not going to set it off or whatever. You've got to wiggle it. It does have some heft to it. So a child, say an 8-year-old that's trying to get some nudge and tilt, which I don't know why you're having an 8-year-old on this anyway, but just hypothetically speaking, 8-year-old child's somehow tall enough to look on this playfield and play this pinfall machine, and they're trying to wiggle it and get that nudge feature. They're probably going to need a little extra help, because this is a solid, hefty machine. I'm a grown-ass man. I can pick this up and move it by myself. But I was impressed with the nudge feature, the responsiveness, how it wasn't too easy to do and it wasn't too hard. It's that Goldilocks just right, I felt, so to speak. I didn't feel like the legs were gonna like tweak or break or come out unscrewed or whatever if I wiggled it too much. You know, I didn't feel like I was putting unnecessary strain on things by trying to push it left to right.
Well,
now, wasn't something early they said on as well? I'm sorry, Stephen.
No, go ahead.
The back glass was interchangeable. Was that still something on the table with this thing?
That I don't know. Like it's 100% doable. I mean, it's literally just a see-through, so to speak, translite graphic type of thing where you slide on there and it's got an LED panel behind it that illuminates it and it looks good. If they offer different graphics, or the third party out there has some options, then 100% it'd just be like the third party light up marquee game, to where somebody just provides a different graphic, then bada bing, you can slide in what you want. But as of right now, all it does is come with the one single, and I haven't seen any graphics or updates or any information from Arcade1up about how much and when and if that's still on the table as far as them selling interchangeable graphics up top.
What? So I think we all can agree with and I know it's not really out on the market yet. I know this prototype / release. Toy Shock and this cabinet, I think the manufacturers have got it right. They're building them like tanks. And I know some people might disagree with that, but you got to think about this. You're leaning on these things. And I know the Toy Shock, because I have one, I can lean on that sucker, and it's nice to hear that you're saying, because it doesn't have the glass top, it's the plexiglass, that it's still built like a tank to withstand, a lot of playing. And somebody had asked, I think his name is Chris, is the screen bright and vibrant, or does it appear a little washed out and grainy?
Screen's
It's a good
good.
question.
No issues with viewing angles. That was one kind of thing that was slightly disappointing on the countercades, the version 2 or whatever, is they had a good, straight on perspective, but once you got to the side or whatever, it got grayed and washed out kind of thing. Haven't experienced that on this machine. It's clear and vibrant from all the viewing angles. Obviously, you're playing it, so you're always going to be looking straight down at it, but overall the screen does look good. I thought the 720p resolution was going to be an issue. It actually looks pretty good. Obviously 1080p would be ideal, but it looks really better than I anticipated. Let's put it that way.
That's good to know.
Mhm.
I don't know, Glenn. I didn't pre-order one only because like, and this isn't a slam against Arcade1up or anything like this, but I think you guys you'll agree here with this is every time we do a pre-order, I can go to my local Walmart and buy it faster than the pre-orders.
I warned you about
Yeah, and so I'm kind of holding out that, and I don't even know if these are going to be in the store. But, I mean, I have the ATGames pinball coming. I have a Toy Shock. I would really like to get that Star Wars pinball from Arcade1up. I just need to figure out, as you can see, I'm looking around, like, where am I going to put it? You guys have seen my studio tour. I'm kind of, like, running out of room, but I would like to get it. But I'd also like to go to Walmart and pick it up, and at least do it that way. So I'm kind of nervous about pre-ordering it from that perspective. And I've never pre-ordered an Arcade1up cabinet, ever. So,
yeah, I mean that's the risk. We've kind of talked about it several times on the show, and we've warned people about it. The potentiality of you pre-ordering something on Walmart.com and then being able to find it in store earlier and get it before your pre-order ships is almost 100% guarantee, and that's not really a fault at Arcade1up. That's just how the logistics supply chain works for Walmart.com. They have separate entities from Walmart.com warehouses versus their actual store shipping type of facilities. So Walmart.com is typically going to get it different dates than the actual retail stores get it. So that's why you see these in stores typically before pre-orders and shipping happens. Basically just pre-order guarantees you'll get it eventually. It doesn't guarantee you're going to get things on a date. That's something we've also tried to explain on this show several times. A lot of people have the understanding that these arcade cabinets from all these companies have like street dates, like a movie, to where you go on that day to a store 12:01 in the morning or whatever, and it's magically on the shelf. That's not how this works. It takes a while to ship these big bulky things across the country and get them out into stores. That's just an estimated time of when they think that somebody will potentially be able to offer that. Could that be, everybody? Could that be 2 stores in the country? Sure. That's just the kind of gamble you go with, and that's just something that people really need to come to terms with and accept. It's just you're if you want to be the first person to get it, it's literally just a roll of the dice, and that's not a risk worth taking most of the time. It's just get it when you get it. That's all you can. That's all you can hope for.
Glenn, what are you okay? Are you okay?
that was a very generous gift we just got. Almost got to pass out.
Yeah, yes, we got some super chats coming in here. Glenn, you want to, if you can't, read it here. We've got Happy Christmas, guys. Thank you to the hours of entertainment that I've had from you guys while recovering. So thank you,
Man, that's awesome.
Masonry.
Oh,
Let me pull this back up.
I feel
Oh,
fantastic
Masonic
now.
Gamer. Yes. Appreciate that.
That was
And
really
also,
kind.
He's got a great Twitter, by the way. Definitely check him out. He does some amazing game hauls, game finds. Like he's like the retro game whisperers as far as coming across like those awesome like Facebook Marketplace finds, boot sales.
oh, I'm gonna have to
garage
check that
sales,
out because
type of
that's
thing.
right up my alley.
Steven over here, he comes to me, yeah, Glenn, look what I got this for $5. Like, what?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
spent $300 like 4 years ago. You can't even get it now. I got it for $5 box, brand new. What are you talking
Dude,
about?
I watch these
But thanks
guys.
for the super chat. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. I watch these. I haven't watched his, but I watch these guys and I learn their techniques, and I do the same thing. You guys saw the signs that I got from stores. You can't buy them.
Mhm.
The guy, I said to the guy, I got cash in my pocket. How much you want to sell them for? He's like, well, usually I sell them for $20 a piece, so that'd be like $80. I says, I got cash in my pocket. How much? $40 cash. I walked out of there at half price for kiosk signs that you cannot get unless you find them. So I've got them on my wall, and I didn't damage them. But we also got one from P-Dubs here. One of you guys want to read that one off?
I'll let Doug read it because I can't read anything.
$10 from P-Dubs Arcade Loft. Bribe for Cool Toy to give us a live demo of pinball right now.
I don't know if he's
drag that in from the danger room, aka my Arcade1up room, and
I don't know if you could do that.
Spoil the surprise. He's got a Christmas.
Yeah, wait for
video.
wait for his video. I mean, you guys got to subscribe to Cool Toy. Here, I'm going to do your plug because you don't do it.
I was about to say, I don't plug, so
I know. So you go over to YouTube.com for you if you're new watching this, and you subscribe to Cool Toy
while you're plugging.
Just just look at YouTube.com. So it's right there in the lower third the whole time. He won't plug it, so I'm going to plug it for him.
I'm the anti-Cool Toy. I plug every 5 seconds.
So, anyways, go subscribe. Probably in the next couple days, I would say, Doug. Right? You're going to have some form of video. It doesn't necessarily mean a review, but you might have some form of video.
I mean, it'll take me days to put a review. I try to put some effort and some gusto into the reviews and make it worth your watching, whether it be information, entertainment, whatever. So I'll put something together for sure, and I'll probably put together like an early just look at the unboxing, the packaging, the putting it together, just so people get a better understanding of that type of thing, to satiate the masses.
Listen,
I know a lot of people are curious.
Guys, I know P-Dubs, he's trying to rally the troops here, but listen, for those that don't know, I'm going to be starting a new job here coming up. I'm going from working with software and switchers to actually working with cameras. I know there's a reason I'm telling you guys this. The company makes the cameras that I use in here that spins the heads and does all kinds of things. One of the things I'd like to do is down the road, Doug, this would be perfect for this type of scenario, is you and Glenn get in, because I know Glenn runs all over the place, is to get them and mount them to where you could sit there. You could pan and control it right from where you're sitting, and people could get live actual feed without dragging it in there. You could go up and maybe have a wireless mic and do that. So guys, just be patient. Maybe in 2021 we can make that happen to where Doug can be in his game room and still be doing the show. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out, but I think that could happen. Just saying. Might be able to make that
2021
happen.
Baby.
So I know they're all like, these guys, they're relentless. They're like, come on, do it for the fans. If you were able to, it's heavy.
I don't want to. It's just like it's heavy, and it's a little different than normally just pulling up an arcade or something like that. Like the logistics of showing you the screen and getting it to where you don't have a bright glare sunspot from a key light or something like that.
You could use
everything I do in my videos. Doug doesn't do anything I do. The light's shining on it. He hates the screen. It's cockeyed. He does it the right way. I'm the anti-Doug. I do it the other way. If I had it, there'd be a coffee stain on it, an old Connexit webcam with 160 pixels on it, and no sound.
Well, Doug, why don't you read that other super chat in there? We're going to have to wrap up soon, but there's another one from Jeffrey Witt.
Jeffrey Witt, thank you. It says, Merry Christmas, guys. Thank you for the wonderful content getting us through 2020. 2021 is going to be an awesome year. Fingers crossed. I really hope so. I'm currently putting together my 14th Arcade1up cabinet, Miss Pac-Man Cocktail. Good Lord, you've got an amazing game room. 14. That Miss Pac-Man is a looker. Like I've got the Street Fighter cocktail, so that was the only reason I didn't really go with that one. But I like the wood grain on the sides, the black top, and the actual like pink controls. I thought they did a really good job with the design aspects of that cocktail cabinet.
Well, and I could say this. I know people they're saying here, we're just as excited for pinball after the ATGames email that told us not to get our hopes up today. I can tell you this, as somebody, P-Dubs and myself are supposed to get one earlier. We're not even going to get it before Christmas. I'm just being as transparent with you guys as possible. So, we're just not. It's just, I mean, maybe a day or two after we might get it. So, and I think these companies are trying to get these pinball tables out to different guys, right? So that you guys don't forget about them when you're like being bummed that you're not getting pinball. But know that, I don't know, Glenn, do you agree? I mean, it's not the company's fault as to why they're not getting them out. It's not.
No, I'm in kind of the same boat. I mean, I get hit literally 50, 60 messages a day. Hey, Glenn, when's your Star Wars yoke be in stock? When's your Tron be in stock? you know, it's right now because of what's going on in all of 2020, which has just been like the worst year that I can remember in a long time. The companies want to get it to you guys.
Yeah.
It's money that they're missing out on. Trust me, they want to get it in your hands. But there's manufacturing logistics, and remember that was that the ship that had all these containers come off the boat. You know, it's just stuff out of their hands. But you know what? It always happens every time. We want. As soon as we get it, I want the next one. Where's the next one? Where's the next?
Yeah.
True.
It's never-ending feeding frenzy.
Yep.
But when you get it, again, we talked to Doug a little bit before the show. You know, we have that. I have that honor, and he's really impressed with the Arcade1up Pinball. So I think it'll be worth the wait. When you get it, I think you'll be very happy with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is like, I'm happy that they didn't, for whatever reason, just rush this out the door. Like, could they have maybe like rushed this out and hit the summer window, which is what they were originally hoping for, or the fall? You know, probably. Would it have been like Cyberpunk 2077 all over again?
There you go.
Potentially.
That's
So,
a
like,
good example.
It's one of those things
Yep.
like you want to wait and make sure this stuff is done right. Otherwise, you're just screaming bloody murder, burning the place down because you're like, how did you screw this up? You don't want them to screw this up. You want them to do it right. So if they take a couple extra weeks to whatever reason, cook it a little longer to make sure it's right. Do it right.
Right, and we've all talked about this. And we want the companies to properly test and make sure when they release a product, it's done right. And that Cyberpunk game was the absolute opposite of that. But I actually commend these companies, Arcade1up, ATGames, and New Wave Toys, everyone else, that they are taking the time. So listen, we got to make sure everything's right. We're waiting for product testing, get it out right the first time, because it is about what, guys? What is it about?
The experience.
The experience. Yeah. I'm just, you know what? I'm just glad that, I think Arcade1up did it right by getting a few guys the pinball table so that the guys that, that are in this community could see what it's capable of doing, and they know Doug's going to do a bang up job with it. And I think that, just seeing this gives you guys even more excitement for your tables that you pre-ordered, because I know for me as a guy who didn't pre-order it, I'm looking at them going, wow, it looks really good, and I'm sure they're going to say the same thing about ATGames and well-played toys. So
the one problem is by sending it to Doug is people are going to be looking at Doug. Pinball machine there.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Yeah, I'll try to make sure my face is not on camera.
Give someone like, trust me, they're looking at your product. They ain't looking at this thing here, okay?
Well, also, so I'm getting pinged right now, but no. So right now, yeah. So let's do this, guys. I hope you really liked the new comment system. This is going to be going forward. We're going to work on, our background that we have here. We'll change it up for 2021. I'm going to sit with Glenn and Doug and try to figure out, like, I've just got a little motion. Might change the colors up a little bit. I have like that green, so that's why we had the comment thing green. But we might work on that to change some things up, see what we can work on. But I know the Super Game Room dudes, they're going to be going live at 9, I want to say, 9 o'clock. But I think Rex is doing a show next week, he told me. So, but for us, this is it until 2021. First Friday back in 2021. I don't know what the date is. The 4th is a Monday. So what is that? Help me out. Is that the 8th or the 9th?
Calendar.
I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah. Get a calendar.
So
here we're all used to our modern technology. So it'd be the 8th. Because January 1st is on a Friday.
So it'd
the
be
next
the 8th.
Friday after.
So, guys, that will be, I know it's 2 weeks on, but you know what? I do a lot of maintenance in the studio. There's some different wires that sometimes need to be changed. There's some new software that I've implemented, which is why we can do the comments. I was just impatient, and I was like, I showed it to the guys that are like, yeah, that's awesome. Let's do it. So it's a way that we can incorporate everybody. So what we want you guys to do is for 2021, and even now, start using the hashtag #TheRetroBuzz on Twitter, on Instagram, all over the place. Start using that hashtag, because what's going to happen if you're on Twitter, because we don't want to say you have to go to Twitter, but if you're on Twitter and you want us to see something, whether it's a news article or something you want us to debate or discuss on here, or Glenn picks a guest that goes with that, we can pull that into our comment system and show it and say, hey, Deputy Van Halen gave us the suggestion of having Doug's hairstylist on the show, and they use hashtag the RetroBuzz. We can do that. So it's just a fun way that you guys can interact and give us suggestions for the show for 2021. And we now have the power. I feel so awesome to be able to say that. We have the power to do that now. So it should be
I was about to say, you need the sword above your head if you're going to do that.
Hey, I've got him. He's on the wall. So
there you go.
but so yeah, so 2021, start using the hashtag the RetroBuzz, and we'll be able to pull those comments in, and we'll be able to pull them in and continue. If you're on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, rumor is Instagram is also going to be adding some live streaming, so we'll be streaming on that as soon as Instagram gives that, and we'll be able to pull the comments in already from them. I've been talking with some folks, so big things coming 2021. I'm excited, guys. Should be fun.
We still have one big thing in 2020, actually.
Yeah.
We still have
Giveaway.
giveaway, man.
We
got
got
it's not even my giveaway, but New Wave Toys want to do something special for 2020. And surprising everyone here, you probably don't know this, I have a Facebook group called the official New Wave Toys fan page. I was surprising I have a Facebook group, but I do. So they contacted me and they said, listen, we want to do something special for the group. So we got a little contest going on. And tonight, right now, this is it. Someone is going to win a signed by Don Bluth New Wave Toys Dragon's Lair.
Is it me?
Take my word for it.
Is it me?
I don't know, but I doubt it. But I don't know.
Maybe.
Killing me.
I was going to believe me, but don't believe this guy over here, Doug, and he'll tell you that this New Wave Toys Dragon's Lair is a real.
It's the cat's pajamas. It literally is. It's the best thing they've released to date, and it was everything I hoped it was, and then some. I mean, it really is impressive. I bought two, or I have two. I pulled a Glen. I didn't put it in a produce sack.
I was just going to ask you that. I was going to tell me you didn't buy a produce sack. Please tell me you didn't.
But you don't buy those, you keep them.
They make nice things. Like Doug said, though, this is definitely the best, and they've already made really good items. They had their Centipede. They had their Tempest. They had Doug got Street Fighter. They had Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Dragon's Lair, and did a real nice job. So they said, listen, we want to give one away, and it's signed. Okay, so this was actually in Don Bluth's hands, and he wrote his name on it. Okay, I could put my name on it. I highly doubt it's going to be worth as much as this one. In any case, I know everyone's waiting. Maybe we should go to commercial break again. Is that what TV shows do? And the winner is commercial break again? But we had the contest, and the contest did end yesterday. So we had people. All you had to do is basically join the fan page, share the post, and if you wanted to, write a little something about New Wave Toys or just something at all. And 2020, like I said, was not I'm going to drag this on. I want people waiting. 2020 was not a good year. I mean, a lot of people lost their jobs because they couldn't go to work. We have, like, my kids, Steven's kids, can't do anything. They're trapped in the house for a year, basically. They lost a year of their childhood. They can't go out. People who actually, unfortunately, didn't survive 2020. My mother was one included in that, who didn't survive this past year. So it was not a good year. The New Wave Toys says, listen, we're going to do something. So right now, we're going to announce winner of this very generous contest for New Wave Toys. And the winner is, after this. I'm just kidding. Lorenzo. Oh, actually, wait, Doug. I'm sorry, Steven. You got to post it up. Pop it up on the screen.
You didn't tell me. Yeah, come on, man.
Lorenzo Manini. Congratulations.
Awesome.
And this kind of caught my attention. We had so many people write so many nice things in there in the group. But this just caught my eye because New Wave Toys makes a childhood, come alive. And after how bad 2020 was, I mean, so many people wrote so many beautiful things. I'm like, this is a winning thing. This is a winning thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you just think about the year that we had. That one just really caught my attention. So congratulations. New Wave Toys is aware, and we will get you that Don Bluth signed unit. Congratulations, big time. And awesome. I'm going to add one more thing. We're going to have another giveaway shortly, New Wave Toys is going to be giving away an Asteroids signed by none other than Nolan Bushnell. And I almost want to quit the Retro Buzz so I can be eligible because I love Nolan Bushnell.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're doing this all wrong, Glenn. You're on the wrong side
Yeah.
of the contest. That's awesome. Those are both awesome gifts.
Wait a second. Wait a second. You mean we're not eligible?
I guess you two are. I'm not. But you.
So
you
this
two
is what you do, Steven. You create one of those spoof Facebook accounts. Everybody's doing it. It's all the rage.
Ah.
And
Well, I was
then
gonna
you-
win it. I was gonna win it and give it to Glenn for Christmas. That's what I was gonna do.
Oh,
Well, you didn't post. You didn't post in the post in the Facebook group, so you weren't eligible.
Well, at least everybody else is eligible for this, but
those
it'll
are-
be good.
Those are amazing one-off pieces of arcade history. Like I don't think people understand. Maybe they're like, "Oh, cool, it's an autograph, whatever." But like, there's what 3 of those in the world? 2 of those?
Yeah, and it's signed by someone who not only did an arcade machine that really stands out even to this day from 1982. It was a pinnacle game, even though it's impossible to play, but a pinnacle game. He also did Secret of Nim, the Land for Time series. Was that American Tail? He's done some really good things that people remember. So it's just like getting an autograph from me.
All dogs go to heaven.
All dog.
Rock-a-doodle.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Right.
So we'll have to.
And he's still planning on doing a Dragon's Lair movie, right?
Yep.
That's still in the
Animated
works.
series, movie. I mean, they're going to do something. And a live action special on Netflix. I mean, Dragon's Lair is coming back, in spades in the future. So
It never went away.
it's true.
All right, Glenn. Why don't you take us out for this last episode here of the year, and let's wrap this. Put a bow on it.
From all of us, from Doug, Steven, and myself, we all want to wish you a happy holiday season, a safe holiday season. Let's all kiss 2020 goodbye, and let's just hope that 2021 is a better year for us all to game on.